Hey guys, Frank here, hanging out with Garrett again.
How's it going?
This is going to be part 2 of the 3-part Montana weekend review.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to split this off into its own video because this kind of tells a little bit of a story about a female spirit that followed you around the entire night.
Yeah, and, obviously we didn't really, going through the evidence, we didn't catch any of this on site. But going through evidence, we kept hearing the same voice multiple times in different parts of, different forms of evidence, different parts, different sections, different times. I mean, it was crazy, but it sounds like the same voice a bunch of times saying very similar things. So it's pretty awesome.
And the first time this voice appeared, it was actually on the live stream that you guys were doing from the Dumas.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So just goes to show how cool and important those live streams are, especially if you can't make it to an investigation, get on an investigation, you might catch some of these things. Because indeed we caught this on the live stream. So reviewing the live stream, we found this.
We've done a couple since then, and we do have a couple more coming up. It's going to be June 24th and 25th.
Correct. Yes, Williams County Jail and Middle Point School.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So make sure you grab tickets for that, because once you see the stuff that was caught on live,
it's crazy. It's wild.
You're going to want to be there.
For sure.
So she appears for the first time about 40 minutes into the live stream.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to go ahead and play that for you now.
What's the outside temperature for comparison when you say it's cold? Addison, how cold is it?
Outside or in here?
Outside.
We're looking at 35 degrees.
35 degrees. What's the outside temperature for comparison when you say it's cold? Addison, how cold is it?
Outside or in here?
Outside.
We're looking at 35 degrees.
35 degrees.
So that's pretty crazy. It sounds like she's almost participating in the conversation.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about the weather, and Addison's pulling up his phone, and he's just like, well, the weather's going to be, and you just hear, mm-hmm. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but catching that, not only catching it, but catching it on the live stream where other people are watching, again, just outstanding.
And this happens again on the live stream, not too much later. This is about another 20 minutes later that this happens.
Right.
She comes back again, and she's definitely much more part of the conversation this time, but I'll let you be the judge of that. Let's play it for you right now.
If you were going to attack somebody, would you let them know it's coming, or would you make them feel comfortable and get to their least vulnerable before you did it? If you were going to attack somebody, would you let them know it's coming, or would you make them feel comfortable and get to their least vulnerable before you did it?
So, like I said, definitely much more part of the conversation this time. At least it feels that way, because this voice sounds so much closer to the recorder in this clip.
Yeah, right. I mean, at that time, so Addison is giving us a tour of the Dumas, and he's telling us about this one specific room. So me, Ben, and Addison are standing there, and it sounds like she's just standing there with us. Just, he says something about the room, and she's like, mm-hmm, yep, that's right.
She's like a second tour guide.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's just kind of cool and kind of crazy, too, because, you don't sense her at that time until you listen back to the evidence. You're like, wow, she was literally right there by the microphone. So crazy.
But you did eventually hear her. This is actually the next clip we're going to play. You hear this voice again twice in pretty rapid succession in the basement.
Yeah, right. Yeah, within 5 or 6 seconds, we heard the same voice. And at the time, we were kind of trying to debunk footsteps, which we did end up figuring out. But while we were trying to figure that out, we heard the voice, and we actually acknowledge it. And then about 5 or 6 seconds later, it happens again. And I think you hear me on the audio being like, what? Because I was just like, I've never had this happen so many times in a row.
Right.
A disembodied voice. It's wild.
So let's take a look at that.
What was that?
Was that you?
That was not us.
Wait,
They could have been.
could have been here. That wasn't.
That was a voice. What?
Hello?
Blacksmith.
You're a blacksmith.
What was that?
Was that you?
That was not us.
Wait,
They could have been.
could have been here.
That wasn't.
That was a voice. What?
Hello?
Blacksmith.
You're a blacksmith.
So it's kind of funny. I called her a tour guide earlier because she has followed you to pretty much every floor of this house.
Right. So we started on the, that first one was on the first floor, and then we had one on the second floor, and now we're in the basement getting the same thing, and we're getting twofers. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, just
back to back. It's bang, bang.
Yeah.
Disembodied voice back to back. Not like one disembodied voice, one EVP. This was
right.
2 audibles in a row.
Right. Yeah. And that's the crazy thing is a lot of people, they don't know the difference between an EVP and a disembodied voice. You can catch a disembodied voice on it can be caught on a recording.
And luckily we did.
But a disembodied voice is something that you audibly hear in person without having that, without having a body. So it's literally disembodied.
Yeah.
When you catch it both disembodied and then you get it on the recorder, nothing like
It's
it.
pretty incredible. It's just another one of those moments.
Yes. Yep.
And this is not the end of our disembodied voice.
Yes,
tale.
it was quite a saga. Quite a saga.
Yeah. There is one more clip that was captured of this voice, and it's audio only, so hopefully you got your headphones on for this one. We do. Let's listen to it right now.
Whoa. 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 Whoa.
So that does conclude, finally, the saga of the disembodied voice.
Yes. I think we need to figure out a name for this lady.
We do. If you have any suggestions, leave it in the comments below. But that does it for, the saga of the disembodied voice.
Right.
But this wasn't everything we caught at the Dumas.
No, not even close.
So we're going to do an entirely separate video next week about the rest of the evidence that we caught at the Dumas. And I have to tell you, there's some stuff in there that you are not going to want to miss.
Yeah, there was one thing that we actually almost missed. And one of our review team members said, you need to go back and check this out. And we were here reviewing and we watched it and we were both like, I don't see it. And then we saw it. And at the same time, we were like, oh, it was
His hair started standing on end.
Yep.
And
I held up my arm. My hair was
pumped.
standing up.
I get real pumped when stuff like that happens.
So that was awesome. So we'll have that for you next week. And shout out at this point to the review team.
Yes.
Because
without you guys, none of this would be possible. You guys are really kicking some butt.
They catch this stuff, sometimes things that even we miss, and without them, there is no video. So
a giant thank you to you guys, and a giant thank you to the audience for sticking around to the end of this one. We will see you next week.
yes.